Coffee and Beats Classic Album Review. J-Dilla, Dilla Donuts. Welcome to another edition of Coffee and Beats. I am your musical barista, Rod the Magnificent. Just some kind reminders. Just hit those commands on the side of me so you can get alerts every time I post a new video. Season 9, let's get it going. Episode 1, let's go. Intro. Welcome to another edition of Coffee and Beats. And before I get into my episode, I don't have any coffee recommendations as of now, but I do plan for season 9 to review new coffee places that opened up in my neighborhood. I want to do something creative with the page, seeing that we have entered season 9 and a total of 5, almost coming up on my 5-year anniversary of doing Coffee and Beats. So I got something special lined up for that. So please stay tuned for all of that. I got a lot of stuff in store for you for the new season of Coffee and Beats. But before I get into my review of J-Dilla Donuts, I just got to shout out the Grammys real quick, starting with the winners of the Grammys. This is actually my first time talking about the Grammys here on Coffee and Beats. But shout out to Bad Bunny, not Big Bunny, for winning Album of the Year. Kendrick Lamar took away 5 more Grammys, which makes it a total of 10 Grammys in 2 years. That is unbelievable for artists like this. And he also made history surpassing Jay-Z. So big shout out to Kendrick Lamar. Now, unfortunately, he is now 0 for 5 when it comes to winning Album of the Year. He keeps getting snubbed in that department. Now, no knock against Bunny, no shade against Bunny. I'm not really familiar with his work. I know a couple of songs that are popular of his, and I know he's going to be performing in the Super Bowl as of this recording coming up on Sunday. But hey, I heard his previous album was one of the best albums of the year in 25. So big shout out to him. He put in the work. I thought his speech was great. I thought his reaction to being called for Album of the Year was iconic. A lot of memes are going around in a good way about his reaction to him winning Album of the Year. So big shout out to Bad Bunny. But the artist that I'm probably the most happy about is none other than Olivia Dean, winning Best New Artist. I got so excited. This makes probably another year, aside from Samara Joy. I predicted her to win New Artist a few years ago. I reviewed her album on this channel. I reviewed both of Olivia Dean's albums. I like both of her albums. Me personally, I like Messy better, but I thought this was well deserved. She's just such a breath of fresh air. Her music is a breath of fresh air. And it was one of those things where I thought Olivia Dean had one of the biggest 2025 seasons of any artist for someone that's in the UK and just come in with this vibrant, very feel-good music, supporting love, talking about love, not hate, even amongst couples. I thought that was necessary. It was a necessary album for 2025, and I thought she did such an excellent job. She gave a great speech at the end. Her reaction was very genuine, and I thought she did an amazing job. Also, side note, Lola Young also won an award. I thought her reaction was pretty priceless as well. But big shout out to Olivia Dean. Also, some other winners that I wanted to note. Samara Joy wins another Grammy for Best Jazz Vocal Album. FKA Twigs, big shout out to FKA Twigs for winning for Best Electronic Album. I really have been a huge fan of hers for many years. I'm so glad that the Grammys finally gave her flowers as well. Also, big shout out to Tyla for winning her first Grammy, along with SZA winning 2 Grammys and Kehlani winning her first 2 Grammys. big shout out to all of those talents as well. And Mad Skillz, my boy, Mad Skillz, winning for Best Spoken Word Album. So proud of my guy. I've been a huge Mad Skillz fan since the late 90s into the 2000s. One of the dopest lyricists in the game. And if you're not familiar with his work, go backtrack. This dude is awesome. He won for spoken word. I actually haven't got a chance to listen to that album yet, but I'm going to revisit that album, and maybe or maybe not, I might do a review on the album. But man, Mad Skillz, man, big shout out to you for that award. And also Doechii wins another award. She takes on another award for music video of the year for Anxiety. I know a lot of people were tired of that song, and I think it led to all of the industry plant talks. But when I had a Patreon, I pushed back on those statements. I did an episode dedicated to Doechii, defending her. She's a true talent and is deserving of every award that she gets. She has a new album on the way this year, already dropped a dope song, first single for it. So big shout out to Doechii. And then Clips winning for Chains and Whips, winning their first Grammy. I thought that was amazing. Pharrell also got honored for the Dr. Dre Award, and it was presented by Q-Tip, of all people. I thought that was an excellent exchange between three mega producers. Dr. Dre was there too. Q-Tip is a producer, ladies and gentlemen. For those who don't know, Q-Tip is a producer. He was behind a lot of those excellent classic albums from Tribe Called Quest. He's inspired so many artists. As a matter of fact, he inspired Dr. Dre to make the first Chronic. So big exchange right there between three greats, and two of them honoring Pharrell was excellent. It was definitely a highlight of the night. But the biggest highlight of the night definitely goes to Lauryn Hill and the crew for representing. They brought the artillery for this performance. This right here, the Roberta Flack D'Angelo tribute, was amazing to watch. I thought this was one of the most standout performances in awards history, and one of the greatest tribute performances. Might be, in my opinion, the greatest tribute performance in awards history. Now, if there are better ones, feel free to attack me in the comment section, but I thought that was one of the most outstanding performances orchestrated by Lauryn Hill, who's calling different singers up to the platform to sing. Big shout out to Bilal, who just belted How Does It Feel by D'Angelo. Layla Hathaway coming in singing her father's verse. I think that's one of the most slept on parts of that performance. Her singing her father's lyrics to Closer I Get to You, singing that with October London, singing Roberta Flack's part. I thought that was amazing. Shaka Khan coming out representing with John Legend, Anthony Hamilton. Lucky Day did a great job singing Brown Sugar. Batista did a great job. Like, everybody, no one came up short. If I had to nitpick, I would say they were about to perform Another Life off the Vanguard album, and I think they were going to use Anthony Hamilton for that, but I felt like they cut off Anthony Hamilton a little bit too quickly. I wanted to see him get into the vocals of that song because I thought that song fit artists like Anthony Hamilton, but that's neither here or there. That's just my little nitpick. But other than that, I thought it was an amazing performance. Excellent Grammys, by the way. I thought this was one of the best Grammys I've watched in a long time, and I usually follow the Grammys. I'm not one of those who, I don't watch award shows. I like award shows if they're done right, and I thought the Grammys got it right this time. And shout out to Aura V, the youngest person to win a Grammy too. I didn't get a picture up of her, but man, she had one of the most adorable speeches that you would definitely want to see. Go look it up if you get a chance. Matter of fact, I'll leave that link in the description box below. But you're here for one thing and one thing only. You click that thumbnail for my album review of J-Dilla, J-D Donuts. And this project is sentimental to my heart, ladies and gentlemen. Before Donuts, Dilla had already changed the sound of hip hop. This album still hits differently. He's produced for so many artists, the likes of Tribe Called Quest, Common, The Roots, Slum Village, which was my introduction to J-Dilla, Busta Rhymes, Erykah Badu, the list goes on and on. But this album was different. It was made while he was battling a serious illness, if I'm not mistaken, lupus. Correct me in the comment section if I'm wrong, but I'm guaranteed 90% sure it was lupus. But much of it was created from his hospital bed using an MPC and just pure imagination. And then just days after the album dropped in 2006, February 7th, 2006, Dilla passed away. And that's what makes Dilla Donuts feel almost just unreal. It was just an unreal experience. It wasn't just another beat tape. It became a farewell letter. And after his death, instrumental hip hop had exploded. It exploded. Now, Pete Instrumental was also out at the time, so I'm not gonna throw any shade on that. J-Dilla wasn't the only one. Pete Rock had Pete Instrumental, but I think Pete Instrumental and Dilla Donuts, both of those albums set the tone for hip-hop instrumentals. And producers realized that a beat album could be art by itself, not just background for rappers. Honestly, the whole lo-fi movement today, study beats, chill hop, late night playlists, that's all Dilla DNA. That's all Pete Rock DNA. Dilla walked so an entire generation could float. Now, the first time I heard Donuts, I was honestly blown away. I had no clue what to expect. I was expecting the same type of rhythms that you would hear on a Welcome to Detroit album or a Slum Village Fantastic album, but here he went a totally different direction. He had I've never heard production move me like this before. The choppy but smooth samples, soulful but gritty drums, messy layers all over the place. It sounded like someone flipping records in a dream. No long songs here, no hooks, just emotion in 90-second doses. It felt like listening to someone's thoughts instead of a regular album. And the Donut intro, it starts the album off with Dilla being moved. It's got a lot of Dilla shout outs there, and it's got this vinyl hiss to it that gives that movie type introduction all the way into Working on It, which to me is probably one of the most hilarious songs that I've heard up until that point. When I first heard Working on It, I just love the quirkiness of that song. I love the horns at the end of it, those horn samples at the end of it. The vocal chops were really nice. It's a very dancey beat. It gets you right into it, and then it hits you with waves. One of my favorites, that loop, just that, it's just, the drums on it is just amazing. The way he chopped up the sample off that was top notch. Chef's kiss. Light My Fire is short but heavy, proof that you don't need a 4-minute track to say something powerful. And then you got the new with those Beastie Boys samples, we're putting it on wax, it's the new style, and the way he cuts it up and with the horn samples that comes with it. Time, the Donut of the Heart, is another highlight off the album. I thought that was great. Classic Dilla swing. If someone asks, what is J-Dilla? I will play this song. Two Can Win, it has that Jackson 5 sample on it. Probably has some of the most soul demonstrated throughout that particular song. And Don't Cry is an amazing one. It's very genuine. It's almost like Dilla telling his family members, hey, don't cry for my suffering. I know I'm going through a lot. I know I don't have much longer to go on this earth, but please don't cry. Please don't feel sorry for me. I'm in here chopping up beats. And another one of my favorites off this album is the Twister. What? I thought that's one of the most chaotic beats that he has ever produced. I really looked up the sampling for that particular song, and he chopped up so much just to get that effect, all those sound effects. It sounded so chaotic, sound like somebody's on a high-speed chase down the road. It is just amazing. Gobstopper, another one of my favorites. One for Ghost is amazing with that Take Me Across the Lap. She used to whip me with a strap. That was just amazing. Walking on It with that Dionne Warwick sample from Walk On By. I thought that was actually one of my personal favorites. I had that one on repeat constantly. And then last but not least, the last Donut of the Heart wraps things up. And then Welcome to the Show gives you that soulful guy band, Temptation band from back in the 50s and 60s. What the deep meaning of that song, if you listen to the original sample, it says, when I die, I hope I'll be the type of man that you want me to be. And it was just such a touching way to close out such a beautiful album. I'm getting goosebumps talking about Dilla Donuts, because you're talking about a man who's producing a song on his last legs, and for that to be the closer for this fantastic album, it just speaks volumes. And it's just one of the best instrumental albums. It will go down as one of my favorite instrumental hip-hop albums of all time. If you have never listened to it a day in your life, give it a shot. Give this one a chance. Donuts features 34 samples that go from the Beastie Boys to Eddie Kendricks to Dionne Warwick. Like I mentioned, Jadakiss. His drums are never perfectly on grid here, but they feel perfect. And the samples are just a breath of fresh air. The loops feel alive, like they could change their mind at any second, and they do. And he turned mistakes that he made on purpose into style and imperfection, and he changed it and made emotion come out of these beats. And today, everybody talks about, oh, this song's a vibe, or that song is a vibe. Well, that came from Dilla. That was invented by Dilla. And why do we still bump this today? Why do we still view this album as a classic today? My final thoughts, 20 years later, we're reaching the 20-year anniversary of this album. Donuts doesn't sound old. It's still timeless. It's still revered as one of the best albums, not just instrumentally, but best albums ever made. I play this in shops. I play this in cars late at night when I'm editing. It still feels the same. It's not just beats, it's a feeling. You don't listen to Donuts, you become mesmerized by Donuts. And this album proved that instrumental hip hop could be personal, could be emotional. It can also be legendary without one rap verse. And every time I hear lo-fi playlists or a young producer chopping up soul records, I hear Dilla's influence. He's a Dilla fan. If you never got an opportunity to listen to this bona fide classic, do yourself a favor and come to Dilla's Donut Shop of musically addictive sound pastries that will have you walking away feeling satisfied. And remember, Donuts isn't just a classic, it's a blueprint for all hip-hop instrumentals. And that will do it for this edition of Coffee and Beats. I am your musical barista, Rod the Magnificent. When it comes to coffee, when it comes to music, stay grounded for life. I will see you guys on the next episode. I hope you enjoy it. Season 9 is in full effect, and so stay tuned for more. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.